Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Chairman Williamson.
Good afternoon.
How you doing, Chairman?
All board members are present. You do have a quorum.
Great. I apologize for being a minute late. Welcome everyone to the December 16th, 2021 regular board meeting of the URA. I think this is our first chance to formally and publicly in a board meeting can congratulate Mayor-elect Gainey on his victory since November. So congratulations.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
And as Director Walker noted, all board members are present, so roll call is not necessary. The first order of business is the approval of the minutes from the November 16th board meeting, which have been distributed and made public.
So
moved. Second. Motion seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The minutes are approved. And we can move on to public comment. I know we got one written public comment. Did we have anybody who signed up to provide live public comment today?
We did not.
Okay. So the only public comment submission we received then was from Shirley Ramsey from the North Side, who wrote to support the North Side Esplanade project, which is on our agenda for today, and simply wrote, "I'm very much in favor of this project. As a resident of the North Shore, we need to revitalize this area of the North Shore. It would bring back to life this blighted area, bringing jobs and attractions." That was her comment, and I think is the only public comment for today. And so we could move on to announcements.
Okay, I will take this one. Good afternoon. The URA's first board meeting of the new year is scheduled to convene on Thursday, February 10th, 2022 at 2 p.m. Subsequent meetings are scheduled to convene at 2 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month through December 2022. Should scheduling changes occur or cancellations occur, the public will be given ample notice, and this schedule, along with other materials from today's meeting, will be posted on our website following the meeting's adjournment. Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you. We have a bid announcement, I think, that Gordon Hall is going to talk to us about.
Thank you. My name is Gordon Hall, and I'm a project manager from the Development Services Department. This is an announcement that the URA, in partnership with Mackin Engineering and Michael Baker International, will be releasing the invitation for bid through IonWave Technologies for construction of the Penn Circle two-way conversion project in mid-January 2022. Only PennDOT pre-qualified contractors will be eligible to bid on the project. Bids will remain open for 4 to 5 weeks and will be reviewed for MWBE compliance upon submission. As shown in the slide, the project will convert Station and Euclid Streets in the East Liberty neighborhood from one-way traffic into two-way multimodal neighborhood scale streets. Improvements to the roadways include new signals, bike lanes, curb bump outs, and other traffic calming measures to increase pedestrian and bike safety. Once a construction firm has been selected, work is scheduled to begin in April of 2022. The construction period is planned to last approximately 15 months, with a completion date in August of 2023. During that time, a maintenance and protection of traffic plan will be in place to ensure that Station, Euclid, and all the affected intersections will remain open to traffic. This is the first step in the final stage of converting the urban renewal era ring road system, known as Penn Circle, back into a neighborhood scale street grid. As a reminder, this is a non-voting announcement. Following the bidding process, there will be an authorization request for the board to approve the selected contractor in the spring of 2022, most likely the March board meeting. At this time, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing, hearing none, thank you. Thanks, Gordon. And I think we can move on to our voting agenda, I believe. And so we're going to begin with a couple of Avenues of Hope projects. Avenues of Hope, again, generally describes initiatives that target investment in certain, as you can see them there on the map, low-income neighborhood business districts across the city. And this first one is in the Hill District on Center Avenue.
Good afternoon. This is ML Meyer. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. And I meant to make you be able to see me too, but if you can't, you can hear me. I'm ML Meyer with the transactions team, and I'm presenting the New Granada commercial office development that's proposed by New Granada Development LLC, an affiliate of the Hill Community Development Corporation. In September, the board authorized exclusive negotiations with the developer, and we are now seeking approval of their proposal to purchase the 4 URA parcels that are included in the project for $195,000 plus costs. This project is the last part of the redevelopment of the New Granada Theater block, which is located in the heart of the Center Avenue Avenue of Hope. New Granada Apartments, a tax credit supported affordable housing development with street level commercial retail space, is currently under construction on the east end of the block. The historic New Granada Theater, next door to this new office building, will be under construction soon and will include office space, theater space, and a food hall. The $22.4 million new construction office building to be constructed on the URA parcels will contain approximately 41,000 square feet. 10,000 square feet will be occupied by the University of Pittsburgh Community Engagement Center. There will be an additional 8,400 square feet of flexible commercial office space, along with 3,600 square feet of cafe or restaurant space, a rooftop reception and dining area, and 14 parking spaces below grade. The project will come before the board again prior to execution of a deed. Marimba Malayans, Irvin Henderson, and Ray Bowman of the development team are in attendance if there are questions from the board for them. Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Or Marimba and team want to add anything? I mean, this seems like a very exciting moment for the Hill District and for activity on Center Avenue there.
Thank you, Chairman Williamson. This is Marimba Malayans, and thank you, ML, who has been working diligently with the Hill CDC for quite some time to advance this part of the project. We want to thank the URA for working with us to make these parcels available so that we could continue the redevelopment of this, this very important block that is central to the Hill District's business district, cultural district, and the future of our neighborhood in general. As you can see, this is a $22 million project, a part of a $60 million project. When we talk about the total redevelopment, it is the largest commercial redevelopment that has happened in the Hill District, and as far as we can remember, but for multiple generations. I'm going to invite Irvin Henderson and Ray Bowman if they'd like to make any comments, and we'll start with Irvin Henderson if he'd like to make any comments. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and I'd like to add my thanks to Marimbas for the URA and what ML and the rest of the URA staff have done. They've been great partners in working with this from start to finish, and we do not take any of that for granted. The only thing I want to add is that this is a very important project nationally as well as locally, because it is a collaboration between a community-based organization and all of the foundation supporters, all of the governmental agencies, dollars involved from state, from local, from the city. All of that adds up to an incredible expression of the ability of community-based organizations to make change in their communities and to do it from the perspective of the local person themselves. Everybody around the country is watching this project, as there are hopeful efforts in many cities across America where people are trying to do very similar things. They look to the leadership of Marimba Lyons and her board as an example of how communities can grapple with their own problems, provide solutions, develop the concepts, and move from A to Z to make these projects work. And I cannot thank the current administration or the incoming administration enough for their support for this very important project. Thank you.
Thank you. Any
Chairman?
Yes.
I do have one question. Could the CDC or IRV or whomever let us know, one, what the current MWBE numbers are for the new Granada apartments, and then what you're projecting for the commercial space?
Yeah, I believe Marimba can speak to the current project, and I'm glad to speak to the projections after that.
Councilman, we are for the New Granada Square apartments at 40% for our construction and hard costs. At a minimum, I believe that we have at some point gotten close to 60%, but I want to confirm that number before going on record, because I know that would be earth-shattering in some ways, and something we're very proud of, and 15% for WBEs. But we have worked extremely hard to advance our MBE maximization program, which is what we have utilized in the Hill District, to make sure we did early seeding of this opportunity within our MBE community. I can get you the numbers on the pre-construction for the theater building. I can tell you that we have been working very closely with A. Martini and Russell Contracting, which is an MBE, as well as Reed Building Supply, which is also an MBE. I can get you the current numbers on the pre-construction, but obviously we are pretty early in there. So I'd have to generate a new report to get you the exact number on that. But obviously we will be looking to exceed, wherever possible, our already very strong numbers that are happening on the apartments.
Thank you. And admittedly, I asked the question already knowing the answer, but I asked it to try to make a larger point, which was the CDC has worked hard to produce those numbers. But what it also says is that it actually can be done when you have an owner, when you have a developer who is actually willing to get those sort of numbers and ensure that we are investing in our minority community and making them a part of our larger economy. And for me, this is appropriate because I was just having a conversation earlier today with our planning department about, as we begin to incentivize developments within zoning, is there a way to tie MWE projections to some of the incentives? Like if you're doing affordable housing and you say, well, it will incentivize you, you can go higher as a bonus. Can we also start baking in better MWE numbers so that those of us who care so deeply about it aren't having to sort of push and fight with every developer? So I just wanted to put out for the public what the CDC was able to achieve on this project as an example of what others can achieve if they're willing to work hard. With that, I just want to congratulate the CDC on their work, both on the current construction with the apartments, as well as the New Granada commercial office space. As already mentioned, this is the first commercial development within our corridor for a very, very long time, decades at this point, outside of the grocery store, that is. So again, congratulations. Thank you on your fortitude and your willingness to stick this out.
Thank you, Councilman. Your support is much appreciated. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, everyone. I mean, it's kind of amazing when you think about this. I mean, this is obviously a vision that the CDC has been pursuing for many years, but when coupled with the New Granada apartments, the recent groundbreaking of Big Tom's Barbershop, and it's a sign of hopefully many more great things to come for the Greater Hill District.
Thank you, Chairman.
Are there any other questions or comments from the board? If not, I think a motion to approve would most certainly be in order.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Next, I think Josette Fitzgibbons is going to present on program guidelines for an Avenues of Hope storefront program.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everybody. This is just the guidelines that were presented to the board at the November board meeting, up for approval today. This is our Avenues of Hope facade grant, storefront facade grant program. The grant amounts, just to review quickly, are up to $12,000. Grantees must provide a 10% match, which is a little lower than we've done in the past. Rehab of the facade is the main focus of this grant, but 25% of the grants can be used for interior renovations, and up to 50% of the grant funds can be used for ADA accessibility improvements, both interior and exterior. So that can be railings, ramps, or even bathroom upgrades. Businesses or property owners located within any of the 7 Avenues of Hope corridors are eligible. We will have applications. Actually, technically, the applications will be opening on January 4th. We will be loading it onto the website in the next few days. So if somebody goes on now, they'll be able to fill out the application. We probably won't get to it until January 4th because folks will be out of the office, but they will be able to submit their application. And especially in January, we'll be doing a lot of outreach ranging from social media all the way to flyering in some of the communities. And the application deadlines, this will be a quarterly application deadline and as opposed to a rolling application deadline. The first deadline will be February 28th, 2022. We moved that back from January 31st just to give us some extra time to do some education and outreach around the program itself. And we will be having, probably in early February, we'll be having a webinar or two as well to let folks know about it and to walk folks through the process.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
No, motion to accept the guidelines.
So moved. Is there a second? Motion is seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks for your great work on this. I think this will be a really important resource for these targeted communities. Next, we're going to move into residential lending. And let's see, Bettina Hage is going to present on the COVID-19 Homeowner Assistance Program.
Sam. So we are seeking authorization to enter into a Housing Opportunity Fund demonstration grant with Action Housing, Inc. to fund the COVID-19 Homeowners Assistance Pilot Program. This pilot program will be focused on providing homeowners with financial assistance to households whose situation was caused or exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, including those who were delinquent prior to January 20, 2020. Action Housing is requesting local support from the Hounds Endowment, Wagner Foundation, Allegheny County Department of Economic Development, And an additional 2.5 million was requested from PHFA, which is conditional on local support as well. HOF's $50,000 demonstration grant is expected to assist around 10 to 11 households. Each household is expected to receive a Housing Opportunity Fund grant of up to $5,000 and a COVID-19 homeowners assistance grant of up to $30,000, with a total maximum assistance amount of up to $35,000 per household. The HOF currently does have mortgage assistance offered through the Housing Stabilization Program, up to $6,000. Action Housing's proposed pilot program would be administered separate from HOF's HSP program and would allow for a much more significant grant award per household. If awarded, Action Housing has agreed to administer HOF funds in accordance with the current Housing Stabilization Program guidelines and within HOF legislation as well. Dan Sullivan from Action Housing is present as well. This is an evolving program, so I would like him to give additional updates as this program is progressing. So I will open it up to him for additional comments and then the URA board for any questions.
Thank you, Bettina. So I just wanted to thank the chairman of the board for letting us speak today and looking at this proposal. There are some updates within the last few weeks. We have put in a proposal to PHFA under the FAIR dollars for up to $150,000 additional dollars that could be used just for property tax delinquencies. Our concern being that there are many elderly individuals who are homeowners in the area who are just behind on property taxes. We also had a discussion with Director Weissman and her staff at PHFA on Tuesday, asking for an additional $200,000 to be used in marketing and outreach for the other groups who we will be contacting with, most notably OBB, Operation Better Block, and the Kingsley Foundation, to do outreach for this program. We have discovered that through the ERAP program, that boots on the ground is probably the best way to get something like this out to the general public. So we're hoping that that will come through too. So those are also two other leverage points that we've worked on. I do know that our director has been talking to the folks over at ACED also. We hope to have a commitment from them soon. But those are the most recent updates to the program.
Thank you.
I had something. I know that Action has been so fantastic and a wonderful partner throughout the ongoing pandemic and trying to connect people to resources. Just for those listening on the call, could you talk a little bit about your community engagement strategies and how someone who may not be listening to this call right now would be able to find out about this program?
Yes, so we basically took the ERAP model, the rental assistance model, and are trying to duplicate it here. The idea would be, because we're focusing in on, Homewood, Larimore, Lincoln, Leamington, the East Hills, that we will then be constantly engaged with the local organizations who will then be doing outreach campaigns along with Action Housing to, not just passing on flyers and things of that nature, but going to, places of worship, going to community centers, really getting into the communities to let them know about programs like this. We feel that that's the basis of a really good program, and that's why ERAP has been so successful. So community members will know about this from their neighbors. They will know about this from trusted advisors, their neighbors, family members, things of that nature. We feel that that's the best grassroots way to get the word out for a program like this.
Thank you. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about it. I think ERAP and again, what Action has done around getting rental relief has been really fantastic. So thank you for all of you and your team's hard work.
Well, thank you for the shout out. It's been a lot, but this is a model that we think is going to work, and we want to keep reproducing it.
So any other questions or comments?
So moved.
Motion is a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. It's great. Really exciting opportunity to leverage the power of $50,000 for a much greater impact. Okay, we're going to move on to development services with a little bit of a longer presentation regarding the Chateau Esplanade development. And I think Nick Fedoruk is taking the lead on this presentation.
Thank you. So actually, we just have a couple slides. Today's authorization is for the acceptance of the proposal and the form of contract for the Esplanade redevelopment project. Rendering of the project is on this first slide. The developer is Millcraft, and the Millcraft team is here on this meeting to answer any development specific questions. The site is in the Chateau neighborhood of Pittsburgh. It's about 5.6 acres of vacant, formerly industrial land along the Ohio River riverfront. This authorization follows the March 2020 URA Board authorization of an option agreement with Millcraft. Since March 2020, the developer has completed substantial due diligence, which includes site work, but also community outreach and other stakeholder engagement. So as part of the URA disposition process, Millcraft has executed its option agreement and submitted their redevelopment proposal package. Just as a reminder, this project will come to the board at least one more time for the authorization to execute a deed for the property before it's approved in final form. So this is not the last time you'll be seeing this and get the chance to review it. A little bit of information about the development. So the Esplanade development is been planned in multiple phases. This is phase one, which will include a 45,000 square foot pavilion for public gathering, a 300 unit residential building containing a mix of affordable and market rate housing, 550 space public parking garage, which will accommodate parking requirements, a marina and pier on the Ohio River, 15,000 square foot retail building supporting, perhaps most notably, a Ferris wheel overlooking the skyline of downtown Pittsburgh. Also included are improvements to the adjacent Three Rivers Heritage Trail. That's the bike trail overlooking the riverfront that will be improved and integrated into the development. Potential future phases would occur on non-URA land and include additional mixed-use residential, commercial, parking, and potentially an aquarium. The URA staff have reviewed the preliminary MWBE plan and approved it. As part of the negotiations, the Millcraft team has also agreed to continue good faith efforts to work with the Manchester Citizens Corporation and other community stakeholders to meet community objectives, which include increasing connectivity in the Manchester Chateau neighborhood, job creation, educational opportunity, implementing sustainability goals, a community benefits agreement, and affordable housing prior to closing. The Millcraft team is here today to answer any specific questions the URA board may have about the development. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. We should also note for the record that a briefing session was held for the board and executive session this past Monday, which was the 13th, I think. Yeah, December 13th. So certain members of the board met in executive session. No decisions were made or contemplated. It was simply a briefing session to provide an overview of this development. Would also like to note that we received a letter of support from LaShawn Burton-Falk, who's the executive director of the Manchester Citizens Council, acknowledging that while conversations are ongoing, they have been productive so far between MCC and the developer. Now, are there other questions, or you say Brian Walker is on, and Brian wants to add any additional color to the presentation?
This is Jim Holcomb. I'm also on.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Brian is here as well. But I really just wanted to say that, through our meetings with the community and watching them develop the Manchester Chateau plan, it became clear that our guiding principles and our goals are totally aligned with theirs, and they've truly become a partner to us. And we look forward to working with them through the completion of this project to help achieve all those things Nick listed. And we're really excited about the opportunity. That's locally. And then, we've talked and can talk in length about, the construction jobs and the small business opportunities, MWBE involvement, connections, and some of the other goals like filling in the missing teeth. But, also more regionally, we have a huge impact economically in terms of job creation and contribution to the local economy. And we're going to do that hand in hand with Manchester. And we're very excited for that. I'd also like to thank Manchester Citizens Corp, the URA staff, and Councilman Lavelle and his staff for helping us get to this point. It's been a rather long journey, but it's got, really lofty goals for the project to help be transformational and inclusive for everyone, and have a big impact on the region and the neighborhood. But thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or any comments from the board?
I do believe Ms. Burton Falk is with us. I'm not sure if she wanted to be afforded an opportunity to also provide comment.
Certainly. Would welcome that if she'd like to.
I'm sorry, what's the name again?
LaShawn Burton Falk. She's the executive director of Manchester Citizens Corporation.
She's been given the ability to speak.
Okay, maybe not, which is fine.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Difficulty. Thank you for being patient and waiting for me. And thank you, Councilman Lavelle, for making sure that the community's voice is always heard in this process. I concur with Jim Holcomb and what he had to say. We are absolutely, pleased to see this project move forward. The ongoing partnership with stakeholders, community work, and the engagement we believe will certainly yield development in Manchester Chateau as a regional asset. Definitely like to thank the staff at the URA as well for hunkering down and really making sure that this process has taken its time to really work through the engagement. So thank you very much to everybody in this process.
Great.
Thank you. With that, I'll simply note that I want to thank LaShawn and MCC as well as Millcraft. In the recent months, there have been numerous meetings in terms of this development and working to get on the same page and ensure that this development is one that is beneficial to both the residents of Manchester as well as the region as a whole. And so we've had very productive conversations. I want to ensure the public, Manchester and others, that as we move forward, we're going to continue to have robust conversations to ensure that this development does actually connect Manchester and Chateau, and that this is to the explicit benefit of that community, and that we believe there are ways for this to be really exciting for the region, but also be to the explicit benefit of the historical neighborhood directly next door to it. And so I look forward to continuing to engage in that in a public process that we will partner with MCC and Millcraft moving forward. But I think we're in a good place today.
And I agree with you, Councilman, we are, and I'll put that last little amen on it.
Thank you both, and thank you both of you for your leadership to make sure that those priorities are centered as this entire project has been moving forward. If there are no further questions or comments from the board, the motion would probably be in order, and the question is the proposal and form of contract for the sale of those lot and block numbers that you see in front of you, but the portion of this development that actually would lie on land that's currently owned by the URA. The sale price, as noted, is $1.5 million plus costs.
So move. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So motion, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Hirsch. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries. Thanks and congratulations to everyone involved there.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
And then our final, or next to last action item is the URA's old home, 200 Ross Street. And David Serban on?
I am.
There you are.
Very good. Thank you, Chairman Williamson, and good afternoon to the rest of the URA board. This, as Chairman Williamson said, is the former headquarters for the URA. Long ago, it was the headquarters for Jones and Laughlin Steel. The URA was there since 1952, and we're part owners, although we moved out last year. We're now looking to purchase the remaining interest that's owned by the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh. We got an appraisal, and we are working forward towards buying it for $1.3 million, 1,306 to be exact. So we'll look to take full ownership of that then, and then move it forward to get a development opportunity, try to move forward something to activate that portion of the central business district. If not everybody knows, of course, everybody from the board would know, but that's right next to the Boulevard of the Allies on Ross Street. So that had the Housing Authority and City of Pittsburgh, which are also moving over to our new building at 412 Boulevard of the Allies.
Thanks. What's the timing of the city and housing authorities move from 200 Ross to 412? Or is that in process now?
It is in process. I don't know exactly. Maybe somebody else on the line has a better knowledge of it. I know that they're working towards it. I already thought even in November they would be moving some more things in, but the housing authority is very close to the process of being able to do the development work within 412.
Chairman Williamson, we anticipate that the Pittsburgh Government Center at 412 Boulevard of the Allies will be fully occupied by all three joint owning parties sometime in 2023. That it may happen in 2022, but given the fact that we're in a pandemic, we try to exercise a little bit of grace. So we anticipate early 2023 will be at full capacity here at the Pittsburgh Government Center.
That's helpful. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Is in terms of like the timing of our acquisition of, or full acquisition of 200 Ross and its subsequent like vacation or ability to sort of move forward with, whatever its future is going to be, the next phase of redevelopment there, does the, if there's a long delay or longer than expected delay in the city and the housing authority actually completing their move, is that going to add to our carrying costs for maintaining the building or anything? Should that be a concern at all?
Hi, this is Nathan Clark. I think I can take that one. So the reason that this is on the agenda now is that the housing authority needs to show a commitment to HUD that there's an agreement in place that they will eventually sell the building, so that the housing authority can go through its process with HUD and release some covenants that are on the building. We intend at this point to not close on the purchase until the move out date is certain and a firm path for the eventual RFP or RFI or sale of the building is in place.
Great, that's extremely helpful. Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns from the board? Seeing none, then I think a motion to approve would be in order.
So move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And finally, there's a handful of items on the disclosure agenda, and approval in its entirety, I think, would be appropriate, unless there's anything staff or board want to draw out specifically from these items.
They're mostly administrative items. I don't think there's anything that needs to be talked about under separate cover.
Thank you.
Motion to approve in its entirety.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?